Hello everyone, we are in your history book on page 40 and we're going to read unto page 42. The Wrights offered their invention to the United States War Department, but they were turned down immediately. No one even came to see the airplane. The Army had given much money to Langley only to see his aerodrome fall into the river. The Army leaders were not ready to spend more money on another flying machine. For 2 years, the brothers did not fly or show their invention to anyone. The Wrights were waiting for a patent so that no one could steal their idea. They still hoped the United States government would give them a contract to make airplanes for the Army. Finally, in 1908, the Army decided to give the Wright brothers a chance. But the Army wanted proof that the Wrights machine could fly a distance of 125 miles at 40 miles per hour with 2 men aboard. So Orville and Wilbur began working to meet the Army's request. Charlie Furness, a mechanic and friend, was the passenger during the practice flights. Orville demonstrated the plane for the Army, and in 1909 the Army bought the first military plane. There could be no more doubt the age of air travel had arrived. Air traffic controller. Who in 1903 would have guessed that only a few decades after the first plane flight, air traffic directors would be needed because of so many airplanes? Air traffic controllers talk to all pilots. They tell them when and where to take off and land. Without towers and the quick, sharp-eyed people in them, large airports would be in chaos. The air traffic controller's job is to get the most aircraft in and out of the airport in a safe and efficient way. Although controllers have good eyesight, there are days when heavy fog or other weather conditions limit what they can see. At these times, controllers must rely fully on their equipment. The instrument landing system uses radio signals to locate planes. Large airports also use the microwave landing system, which gives even more precise information to the controllers and pilots. Systems that use information from satellites also help keep the air traffic flowing smoothly. The most important characteristic of an air traffic controller is an ability to remain calm. This is very important during hectic hours and emergencies. Some busy airports like Chicago O'Hare International and Dallas Fort Worth International each have nearly 1 million takeoffs and landings in a year. From then until now, God made people to rule over His world. Throughout history, they have used parts of God's world to help them travel. In the last century, people have made amazing progress in how they travel. Consider today how it would be to ride to church in a buggy or travel to another state in a wagon. It would certainly slow down life in this decade. Think how sleek modern cars would look to Henry Ford. Imagine that Wilbur and Orville Wright might think of space travel. In 1903, the Wright brothers made the first short flights in their simple flying machine. Little did they dream that only 66 years later, Neil Armstrong would step down from a far different craft onto the surface of the moon, or that Armstrong would carry with him a small piece of cloth from the Flyer, which had skimmed the air at Kitty Hawk one cold December day. God has allowed man's progress to happen. Even though many people may not have believed this, God still used them to have control over what He made. Perhaps in the future, you will help make advances in transportation.